Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, and I have a lovely co-host today. We have my friend, Rachel. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing today?
Good. Hello, everybody. I'm doing great.
So if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well then welcome. We are so happy to have you. Join us in the chat, but make sure you subscribe right down over there. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So we are talking today about The Bachelorette season 16, episode 3 with Clare Crawley, and this was a hashtag Cringe-Fest, in my opinion.
It was bad.
But Rachel, so what would you say your history with The Bachelorette is?
Long-time watcher. I can't get enough of it. It's kind of just juicy drama.
And this is like a very good season. So did you know Clare from her season before and like her rest of her history in the Bachelor franchise?
I did. The season before that she was in, I mean, I felt bad. I think most people felt bad for the situation that she was kind of put in. I was happy initially that she was put in as, the Bachelorette. I don't know what to think now, though. I don't think that it's a great fit. I don't know.
I know. I'm so with you here. We have some friends. Another Rachel is in the house. So hi, Rachel. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have a lot to say about this episode. And Meso, hi. And it says hi to you.
Hello.
So we just start this date off right kind of in the middle. Like, we didn't end up having a rose ceremony. And, we talk about how she means what she says. And the guys are just talking about how they really appreciate how she stands up for herself. And so what are you thinking about, we'll say even the last couple of weeks, about how Clare, she got offended when someone didn't grab her right away to go, talk to her. And, and also then what did you feel about the dodgeball date?
Well, I felt like her getting offended because nobody grabbed her right away. I think they were trying to be gentlemen. I think that, nobody was, I guess, wanting to step on any toes because she is so outspoken. And I'm sure if somebody jumped up and it wasn't Dale, that she probably would have had something to say about that. As far as the dodgeball game goes, I had a lot to, think about that. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous how Yosef was so offended by that happening. He seems like he would be zero fun, absolutely zero fun.
I know.
Well, I thought it was great, and it's such a double standard. Like if a men's season happened and they happened to be in bikinis or anything sexual whatsoever, it would have been fine. Nothing would have been said. But because we got to stare at some beautiful bodies, it's all of a sudden not right.
Absolutely double standard. And not that I'm saying that the men should be comfortable with getting naked on TV. I'm not saying that at all. I'm also saying I maybe wouldn't have agreed to that being part of the date. Maybe it's not really my taste, but it's also not that big of a deal. They did take off their jockstrap after, but they were wearing a jockstrap. It's not that offensive and that she wasn't asking them to do some softcore porn, even though sometimes they do stuff like that, scenes where they're making out on camera, for a telenovela or some sort of weird date. So,
Dale's boner.
Oh my God, right?
Right? That wasn't offensive. But also you didn't see anything, and it's very much like boys' locker room antics. That's just what they do. They run around naked. That's
absolutely. I really think it's a big deal. I thought that no chill, who cares? Just have fun with it. Men don't usually have to take themselves less seriously. They're always we don't get to poke that much fun at men and putting them in awkward positions. It doesn't really happen that often. And so go with the flow here. It's a Bachelorette season, it's not a Bachelor season where like they can choose what they get to do. So I was really annoyed with Yosef, and I'm gonna get more into that. But Meso says last night's episode was a Dale show, just like every other episode. Yes, it was. And you heard all the rumors that were coming up before like the season started, correct?
I heard some of them, but mostly just from last night's episode where they assumed that they had a prior relationship or something before, which it wouldn't shock me or surprise me. It just kind of seems like it's Dale and Clare dating show. And that's all that's going on. She's not into anyone else. I feel like she's not even giving people the chance to, I can't remember his name, but the guy she went on the individual date with last night like that was so awkward because I felt like she pulled away from the kiss and all she talked about is how she wished Dale was there.
Exactly.
It gave him no chance whatsoever to even, and it made it super awkward, like super awkward.
What happened with Clare is that she had all the information of all the guys that she was going to be dating before the season starts, and they never really have that information. And I think she really went deep on cyber stalking and like was just like imagining for 3 months, 6 months, or whatever it was, like, ooh, Dale, like, oh, he's so nice with his family. Oh, Dale, like, you know what I mean? And like, he's an attractive guy. If you were just to look at his picture, his good body, he was a professional athlete, so he has like all these like qualities that would look very good on Instagram. And I think that she developed a crush on him on social media. And so I think that that's why she's coming in so strong right now. EJ, hi EJ, how are you? Boy, do I miss this channel. We are back today. We are back. We miss you too, EJ. EJ says, I still wish I could get into the Bachelorette, but I just don't like Clare. Well, do you know what? It looks like she's going to be done now. So you have maybe 1 more week at Clare, and it's probably going to be over.
I know. The preview that like happened or whatnot, I think that's what's gonna go down.
Well, that's already been rumored. So like I know not a lot of people haven't been surprised by her being suggested as the next Bachelorette that's going to be taking over the season. That's kind of was out since March. That information has been kind of floating around, or maybe a little bit after when they started filming. That started getting floated around. So we always kind of knew that it was happening, but like they weren't really alluding to it actually happening. Chris was like, oh, Tasha's not going to be the Bachelorette. Like, no. And like, he kept on saying no, but then his girlfriend, Lauren Zima, she like does Bachelor recap and content, and she said like, yes. So it was just a lot of conflicting stories. So I'm happy we finally know that she's going to have something to do with this season. So Mesa says, I still don't understand why Yosef was so concerned about what he didn't partake in. Absolutely. And I don't know if you heard about this, but okay, so there's some tea about Yosef, Mr. High and Mighty. I have so much dignity, losing all respect for Clare in this situation. He apparently did slide into somebody's DMs, and he went to go visit this person that was living, I think, outside of state from where he's from. And so he visited this girl, and they had like a hotel room, and like they went on a few dates or whatnot. And I think after the fact, he sends her a Snapchat that wasn't meant for her. Apparently, he sent a Snapchat of him jerking off, saying that he wants to F another woman. Like, sends a Snapchat, and this woman is airing this all on, I think it was on TikTok. Dead.
So that's okay for class? Like, that's where we're setting the bar? Because I don't understand where strip dodgeball falls below that. Like,
right? I find that Snapchat personally is quite a youthful social media app. And like, what if he by accident sent that to like his daughter's friends or whatnot? You know what I mean? Like, or his daughter's friends' parents. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not against sending things like that to partners, whatever. But like, the fact that he's so like, I'm above everything about this strip dodgeball, and that he would never want his daughter to be with a woman like Clare, like, and then he's jerking off to another woman and sends it on Snapchat and gets caught out by it. Like, I thought it was hilarious. So that's just a little bit of tea about Yosef. And so basically on that date, Yosef just couldn't handle it. He needed to go tell Clare how he was feeling, and he goes and he interrupts Jordan and her having their own little one-on-one time. They're basically continuing on with the cocktail party that happened last week. It seems like so long ago, but like it was last week.
I know.
And so, you know, he interjects and starts saying like, you know, just let me speak this whole time. And like, at one point she was just like interjecting, like, yeah, I understand how you feel. Like my mom is really sick. He's like, I'm not finished. I'm like,
oh, I know.
Wow. Like the fact that, go ahead.
It was some like light as to what he would be like as a partner, and probably the reason why he's single. It was degrading on all levels. Like, communication is key, and he wouldn't even let her finish a point, nor was he listening to anything she had to say. Like, I guarantee the whole thing was scripted before. It's not like she probably had an option or that she was suggesting these ideas for activities.
Exactly.
And to define somebody based on one like fun, silly activity, I mean, come on. Like, it's ridiculous.
So bad. Ridiculous. And like the fact that he's like, oh, I was so humiliated. It was so silly. It was so immature from the oldest Bachelorette. It's like, so because you are over 30 years old, you're not allowed to do silly things. Like,
you're not allowed to have fun.
You're not allowed to, I don't know. I mean, I used to do some things when I was younger to men that, like, you know, were kind of silly, but like, I kind of still see myself doing it now. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, take off your shirt. I don't know. Like, I'd make people do stuff, you know, and it's just silly fun. And I don't know. She was exercising the fact that all these guys are going to do whatever she asks. And like, I think it's a little bit fun. It's in her right as the Bachelorette. So,
that's right.
Other Rachel said, I can't like wait. Go ahead.
Oh, she needed to like take the reins and like, you know, mix it up and create like a stir. But I think he wasn't even a part of it. So the fact that he was even complaining about it, I'm sure they'd seen each other naked living in the compound as is, where they're hanging out with a bunch of dudes. It just seemed so ridiculous to blow up over something like that and to call her immature and to let that define, like, she's making older single women look horrible. Like, it's
absolutely. And then when he yelled out, like, I expected more from the oldest Bachelorette, I'm just like, A, she's younger than me, so get out of here, Yosef. And B, like, I don't think that he would say something like that to me, because like I would not have it. But a little bit of a bullying kind of thing with, like, you know, just his macho bully, like, I can talk down to this emotional woman. Like, I'm not as emotional as she is. And so like, there's no way that he would be able to hurt me like he hurt her in this situation. But it was very attacking, and I really, really didn't like it. And I thought that was a worse example for his child. And she did mention, like, kind of like how she did to Juan Pablo, is that, like, I would never want you to be the father of my children, which I thought was, I mean, go for it. Go for the jugular there, because he's an asshole.
Bang on. Like, she's a woman expressing herself. That's what we all would want for a little girl. And I think that it's ridiculous that he thought that he could speak to her like that. Now, when she got up and he got up and they kind of got in each other's faces, I honestly wasn't surprised. It was like he was going to push her or something. He just seemed so aggressive. And then she broke down crying. And I did think she was a bit dramatic to cancel the rest of the night, because it kind of means like he won in a sense.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Like,
Rachel says, I can't wait till I get to your one-on-one date. Laugh my ass off, cringe. I know, I can't wait to get there as well. Misa says, Clare is reminding me of Juan Pablo, to think that she was the only one who she was the one that told him off. That's true. That's another thing that people have started saying, is that her disrespect level for the other guys on these dates is kind of reminiscent of how Juan Pablo was so tunnel vision and not really caring about other people and their feelings on these dates. And so right after this situation happened with Yosef, you know, Dale comes up. Now, do you think that the producers were like, go, Dale, and pushed him over to come talk to her?
I think he was the only one who knew where she was, because after the previous episode where she kind of scolded the men for not stepping up, I'm sure they were all scrambling if they heard what was going on to find her and sweep her off her feet, you know, what she wanted, that hero. So for sure, I think that was somehow thrown in there, that only Dale knew where she was and Dale came to the rescue. Ooh. But I've never seen a season of Bachelor or Bachelorette with such tunnel vision. Like, he walked out of the limo and she was like, that's my husband. Mm-hmm. There was nobody else there. Like,
absolutely. And I think it's because she pre-gamed in her head. She developed a life with him, and I don't think he could do any wrong because she already decided that he's the one. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's not fair to the great men that are there, and it's not fair to the show. Like, then you start dating outside of the show. Like,
absolutely. Like, in my opinion, I feel as Clare, like, yes, you have this connection with Dale, but you signed an agreement to be the Bachelorette, and that was probably like that to do 13 episodes, and that to go on different dates, and, you know, not make it obvious, completely obvious who you're going to choose in the end, so we can have a story here. We can have something that, you know, we are watching here.
And enjoy the ride. Like, enjoy the ride of the process, because it feels like she's completely missed the whole, you know, point of what the process is. And it's, yeah, complete tunnel vision. Like, Dale might not be this great guy. Like, everybody puts on social media what they want people to see.
Absolutely. And like, it's a great opportunity to be the front runner of the Bachelorette. Like, you know, he's about 30 or 31. He's gonna get a lot of endorsement stuff, like, especially if they stay to be a couple for a couple years. Like, you know, he's gonna get a lot of stuff out of it. So he might as well lean into the fact that he is the #1 draft pick here. So, RC, hi, RC, how are you? He says, EJ, you're missing the drama of The Bachelorette. Yes, Clare is moving mad, but it's great TV. Honestly, like, I really have become a disliker of Clare. I don't know if it's because I'm just not that emotional in the way that she's emotional. And so it actually just grates on my nerves to see how she's acting and how she's treating these people. I know that's her style and that's the way she is, and I can respect that. But I find that, you know, she needs to rein it in a little bit. Like, have a little bit of, you know, mystery and a little bit of allure and a little bit, like, she's coming across, in my opinion, as desperate. And because she's 39, it makes it look as though all 39-year-old women are desperate. But no, I don't think so. I think that Clare just acts that way because she really likes Dale, and she has no chill. She has no chill.
No chill. She wants Dale to sweep her off her feet, and he's doing a good job at doing that, like coming to the rescue, when I feel like they're setting it up that he is the only one to come to the rescue. So the group where Dale was basically the only one who got to spend time with her, like, that was so rude. That was so ridiculous. And it was so awkward when they interrupted the dry humping. Like,
even, oh my God. So yeah, so Yosef leaves and like, she's all yours, boys. And I was like, you're so rude, but whatever, I'm fine with that. And then it kind of goes on into she comes back crying, and she didn't know what she was talking to Chris Harrison and wasn't sure she wanted to go on with it. She said no. And I thought, I was like confused. I was like, whoa, wait, what? She's not going to have the rose ceremony? And so she comes back in. She doesn't want to continue with the cocktail party, as you mentioned already. And she's just going to go straight to the rose ceremony a little bit later. And I was just like, even that, you know, you said it well when you said that, like, you let Yosef win in that moment. He got to have that whole moment. He got to have you cry. He got to have you cancel the cocktail party. He got to have you take up all this time with his negative energy. Like, I would have been more impressed by her, like, being empowered and like be like, fuck Yosef, I'm still going to go get to know these men because, like, they're here for me and they're okay with what happened on that date. And if they weren't okay, they would have
want them anyways. Yeah, if they're not okay with that, that's not something I would be okay with dating.
Or maybe she'd be like, you know what, I'm really impressed that, you know, you had a standard that you want to uphold and you said no to this. And I think she would even respect someone saying, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. Like, what, like, that is fine. You know what I mean? And so the fact that I think the one thing that she said, though, to Yosef that I thought was really important to recognize is that she's like, well, that's why I didn't put you on that date, because she didn't think that it would have been appropriate for him to be on that date. And she was being considerate and respectful of his situation with his child, that she didn't want to put him in a compromising position. Obviously, he could have said no if he wanted to, if he was on that date, but she was being considerate and chose people that wouldn't be irritated by doing that on the date. Anyway, I just need to throw that in there.
The Bachelorette, just a bunch of ridiculousness anyways. Like, he went on the show. So thinking you're going to go on a show and there not be any sort of like nudity or drama or anything like that, or ridiculousness, you're crazy. You're on a show that's what it's about.
You saw Hannah Brown season where they went bungee jumping naked. I think that's a little bit more like intimate and like awkward and scary. I think that's worse than like strip dodgeball. The pillow fights in lingerie, like that's a little bit like inappropriate if we're trying to judge things. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that that's going to be an option that they're going to suggest for them to do on a date on the Bachelor or Bachelorette season. So get out of here, Yosef. Never want to see you again. Like, just keep to whoever you want to jerk off to, because you're a jerk. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? So Deja says Dale doesn't seem that into her, that he's about to leave the show and with her, like that he's about to leave the show with her and get married. Yeah, I don't think so either. I said this last week that I'm feeling as though she is making this whole fairy tale in her head, and that I don't know if he is really that into her. Just like how he talks to her. Like, yes, they're making out and like maybe he has a boner, but like I don't know if he is really at that level of like, he's the one.
As into her as, well, yeah, you don't hear him talking about her or her personality. I think he's more like, I'm winning this. Like he's looking at it as a game, and he's front runner in that game. And that feels good for anybody.
Absolutely.
Like,
okay.
He gets on my nerves as well. Like I get his eyes are piercing and beautiful. They are, but he does get on my nerves, and kind of has from day one. Like he's a little bit too cocky. He went into it a little bit too cocky, which obviously she gives him that, ability to be that way.
Yeah, exactly. So Deja said, to be honest, Clare and Dale both get on my nerves. And like when I'm watching the show, now it's gone from me like excited for Clare having a new, an interest that seems to be electric, to me like cringing every time that they're together. I don't find, for me, when he speaks, that he's turning me on, or like that he has like, the vibrato of like how he speaks about her. Like I don't feel it. And she just stares at him drooling with googly eyes. And I'm like, am I missing something? Because like, I'm not feeling this like, like I love you, Clare. Like,
the really connection, or even the way some of the other men care about Clare and the way that they come across showing their love or whatnot. He doesn't have that same drive, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like it's a bit of a puppy situation. Like she is walking around like a little puppy. Dale lovesick. That's all she's talked about. That's all she's thinking about. And it's not fair to these poor other guys that like have put their life on hold, have put everything on hold to be on this show, looking for love. And literally she had her mind made up night one.
Absolutely. So Mason says, I agree with you. Clare definitely looked Dale up, possibly was in communication with him before the first rose ceremony. I don't think that they communicated, but I think that she made a story in her mind about him. Oh my God, Yosef, Mr. High and Moral. I wouldn't like my daughter around you. Like, get out of here, jerk off.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. He needed to go. Karma is a bee.
Hi, Jobs. Nice to see you again. So, laugh my ass off, Chantele. Yosef, Karma is a bee. Absolutely. His new nickname is Jerk Off. Deja says, I don't know why they had him play strip. Why they had him wait, why they hadn't played strip dodgeball if they can't show anything anyways. I think that somebody really was excited to be using the black boxes. I was saying that last week. Like, woo, the black boxes, we can use the black boxes. Like, they just loved it. Always like on The Bachelor in Paradise, like there's one girl that had like a skimpy bikini on like bathing suit. It wasn't even a thong, but it was like a little bit skimpy, and like the black box came out. So I think that they like showing that it's like something risque is happening there.
Of course. And they want the reaction, right? They want the reaction from the men. I'm sure the men were comparing to one another. And maybe Yosef had something to be
to hide
worried about. Maybe he was worried that his black box would only be this big. I don't know.
It's a black dot.
It's a black. Yeah.
Mesa says that was very disrespectful. Very. He just wanted to be heard. Yeah, I roll. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I agree. He's an idiot.
The worst. RC says, hey, Lovey, hope you're doing well. Yes, I am doing well. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. So Mesa says the producers are setting up Dale as the knight in shining armor. Yeah, but that was Jason that came in the knight in shining armor. So like they should have maybe done that or given that to Dale when he came up because, yeah, I'm sure the producers asked her beforehand, like, oh, like, I know you've seen the guys. Like, was there anybody that you're interested in? So I'm sure they had an idea that she was interested in Dale beforehand or, like, excited to meet Dale beforehand. And so they could have maybe given him the knight in shining armor outfit, you know?
The thing is, she is 39, so she should have experience with men and dating and realize that having tunnel vision over somebody's looks or maybe a snapshot of what they've given you is not enough to just be obsessed. And I think it's going to get her into trouble in the long run. You know, maybe they leave together, but I mean, I don't think it's something meant to last.
I don't feel it as well. I don't think that they are going to be forever people. I don't think it's her husband. I don't think it's her fiance, who she calls him her fiance to the producer. I'm like,
I know, like, come on. She is too mature and too old to be playing games like that. Like, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. It seems super immature.
So immature. She just says Bennett opted out of dodgeball, but they would never have women play the dodgeball game on The Bachelor because it would be backlash. Absolutely. Like, they wouldn't ever do strip dodgeball, but like I could see them making them strip down to their bikinis. Like
they've done like a body painting thing, I remember seasons ago. They have done other things that are more like risque.
Like
maybe even before the Me Too movement. So that's changed a lot of what's acceptable and what's not.
Well, and I also think that it's more acceptable for women to be exploited with their bodies than it is for men. And so I think that that's also why Yosef was being indignant there. You know what I mean? Do we have a Bachelorette?
So,
how are you? So cute.
You want to say hi?
Hello.
He's a fan as well.
So Mesa says, yeah, I really don't think Dale is on the same level as Clare. He acts like he sees the show more as a competition than an avenue to build a relationship. And yeah, you called that out from the beginning. I definitely think that he's a winner right now. Like, he's going to win this show, win this game, and he might as well lean into it. Like, what else is he going to do here?
Well, and she makes it very easy.
Jay John says, maybe Dale is playing hard to get, is hypnotizing Clare to making her so smitten. I think the fact that she needs to go on these other dates with other people is making her want Dale even more. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, the fact that
agree.
her time is making her not, you know, like, only able to focus on Dale, and so she just like wants to focus him on even more. Like, absence make the heart grow fonder. You know what I mean?
I agree. Like, it's
Brazil. Hey, Brazil. Do you want to pop on? We're going to see if Yosef on True Crime Channel one day. Absolutely. Or according to the, whatchamacallit, the roasting, maybe it's going to be Bennett that's going to be on a True Crime Channel one day. Brazil, tell me if you want to pop in. We will be lucky to have you. Brazil was doing this with me before, but she was having some conflicts. And so if she's free, she can always pop on whenever she likes. Mesa Brazil, see, she recognized Brazil. Facts, exactly.
You kid, thank you.
Yes. Okay. So what happened next? Go ahead.
Mom life, I said. Sorry.
Mom life. This is what people that watch The Bachelorette are really like. You know what I mean? And people that are in the same age bracket will say, as Claire, would most likely have children. So absolutely, totally fine, especially if they're so cute.
Yeah.
So what happened next? Where are we? So yeah, they have the rose ceremony, and you know, it was really unfair too with a lot of the guys that didn't get any time with her. Like that they're going to go through with this rose ceremony. She hasn't spoken to many people, and
rude.
And she also still gives Dale the first rose here. I'm like, girl, have a little bit of chill, have a little bit of mystery or something. Give some other guy an inclination that you are slightly interested in them. Like, what the F?
Completely. She should have never canceled the second cocktail hour, and she should have given out that rose and seen how maybe the men reacted to that confrontation with Yosef, like the men beyond Dale, seen how maybe they comforted her, or, you know, how they would have dealt with it, or, you know, just kind of moved on from it. Like she really let it take over the night and dampen it. And then I think that she let Dale kind of swoop in and then gave nobody else the opportunity to, you know, help her or mend her broken heart from that.
It's a really good point because, like, you know, Dale was able to get pushed in by the producers, like, hey, go comfort Claire. She's over there doing a confessional, like, save her. And then, like, you know, if the cocktail party continued, the guys would have been like, especially Easy would have been like, hey, like, that wasn't right. Like, nobody should be disrespecting a woman like that. And like a lot of these men would have come to be her savior and like show them that they're supporting. But now it just looks like only Dale was the one that just swooped in and saved me. And you know, it's creating more so of that narrative in her head that Dale is the only one that's actually really there for her when she keeps on cutting opportunities to interact with the other men. So embarrassing. So Dale's
her one-on-one date, like she couldn't get over the fact that Dale wasn't there, and that was the first thing out of her mouth. Therefore, it ruined the whole date, I think, for her. And it was really embarrassing that that's kind of the way she was acting. And the fact that Chris Harrison had to go and tell him, and she didn't even.
Yeah, fully into that date. My goodness, that was like awkward sauce. So the order of the people that got their roses, so it was Dale, Zach C, which is the guy from the addiction guy, Damar, because I can't remember which is which. Damar, who I think is very cute. I mean, he's only 26. He's too young for Claire or me, but I think he's adorable. If I was like 21 and he was 26, like he is right now, I'd be like, oh my god, let's date. Like you're so cute. If I was 20 years younger, I would totally be into dating Damar.
That seems to be a theme, though, that they. Like all the men are super young. And I mean, I don't believe that men really mature before women. And so I just don't think that like there should be a connection there. I think it's very weird her dating all these much younger men. Like, you know, we're talking about 10 plus years, some of them.
Well, and, you know, apparently Chris Harrison said that Claire said that she doesn't mind dating younger men. But I think that this may have been what her challenge has been within relationships, because she wants people that are so emotionally mature that she's not necessarily going to get that from someone that isn't emotionally mature. And so I think that she probably hasn't experienced like a lot of different men in her age group that are emotionally mature that would be able to have a relationship that she's probably been wanting from somebody. it's still very, Brazil is congratulating. Yes, oh my God, 400 subscribers. Yay, go Chantele. Yes, I know. I'm going to do a video about my how I got to 400 subscribers. I'm going to make one probably after this. So
congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's been a hard road. Jason says, easy and some of the guys try to comfort her, but she didn't give them the opportunity to. Exactly. She's so tired. I have an appointment at 1, but I'll text you after. All right. Well, as long as you keep on texting with us now, we're into it, Brazil. Deja says, I can't wait for the reunion because it's going to be so messy. It's going to be so messy, especially if Dale and Clare are not together. And when she watches it back, she has to be embarrassed.
Yes. Like, she's ruined her chance of being on The Bachelorette. She's completely ruined it from day one.
She ruined this opportunity. Mesa says the reunion, Clare needs all the smoke. She really didn't give the other guys a chance. Yeah, I know it's boring. Well, it's not boring, but it's just like the fact that she doesn't. Okay, so she's an adult woman that's had many relationships in her life, or has witnessed them, or has an idea of how a relationship should be. The fact that she just does not see what she's doing could be offensive to the other men. I think that is what I find most problematic about her being the Bachelorette. The Bachelorette is the lead of the show. It's not only her being there to find a partner. Yes, that is the ultimate objective, but I think also to put on a show, to have different dates, to meet all these other people, to showcase these other guys. And so we can see like, oh my God, that's such a great guy. Let's make him the next Bachelorette after Matt James. But like, why aren't we showcasing these men? We're just showcasing her only wanting to get to know one guy.
Yeah. Who might be the next Bachelor? Who knows? If they don't end up together, maybe Dale will be the next Bachelor because we only know about him.
You already picked the next one. You know that, right?
Pardon me?
We already picked the next
like the one after that, down the road kind of thing.
I don't know if they'll have 2 Black Bachelors back to back, but and Tayshia, I think that's a bit of a stretch for ABC in my opinion. But I mean, I would watch it. And I don't think that Dale speaks well enough to be the lead of a show. Mesa says, but Claire's not showing a lot of emotional maturity in these cases either. Exactly, like that's what is so frustrating that she talks about, like with Jason on his date last week, which I thought was really emotionally irresponsible of her to be like unpacking this guy's deep, dark secrets when she's not a qualified professional to be having these therapy sessions with this man. You know what I mean? And just to be like, I want to go deep and get emotional. It's like, well, you know what? You might not know what you unpacked there. So maybe you should stay away. Like it's
the first one-on-one date, like with him. It's not even like that seemed to be a bit much, like it just seemed to be a bit extra for him to, release all that. And I think that would be an attractive quality in a man anyways, that he could open up like that.
Yes, I did think it was good how he handled that date last week, but I didn't think that it was right for her to be expecting him to like go really deep with some of the deep pain that he could have been experiencing. Like, what if she uncovered something that she wasn't able to handle? You know what I mean? Like, and someone would have to step in and like take over this therapy session that she was having with him. I thought it was irresponsible of her to end the show.
What do you think his deep dark secret is?
I don't know. Like maybe his parents were neglectful and like maybe they were abusive to him and each other, maybe.
I don't know. It just seemed, I thought he unpacked a lot, like really fast.
I agree, May. So hell no, we don't want Dale. Like nobody wants Dale. It's so true. It's true. Nobody wants Dale. Claire is good at good fit for accelerating date shows. 5-time alum. Yeah, it's true. Because she skips so many steps and falls in love so quickly, keeping her single. It's so sad. Yes, J Jobs. It's so true. She, I don't think, knows how to really develop deep connections with someone. I think that she mistakens like having a little bit of like, they call it in the UK fanny flutters. So, and somebody else has told me, is your child around? I don't want to say this out loud.
No, it's okay. He's gone. I was going to say butterflies.
Well, I say also, someone told me a long time ago, pussy clapping and fanny flutters are the 2 things that I'm talking about here. Or butterflies down there, we'll say maybe. Anyways, I think that she gets those feelings and maybe a zing of the heart as well at the same time. And she feels as though this means that they're the one. And yes, I think it's important to have that zing and that instant connection. I do think that's very important for a long-term relationship. And I would be hoping for that in the partner that I meet, to have that zing. But I don't think that you need to jump the steps of getting know to someone just right into I love you and you're the man for me and let's get married without getting to know the actual person. Like, I think she just stops that step. She doesn't let herself get to know these people. She just automatically jumps in love and then has all these expectations of what this relationship's supposed to be, but they actually haven't gotten to know each other. You know?
And builds the narrative of who they are in her head, I'm sure, or based on social media or however she scoped him out. I think she's built this narrative that he is this knight in shining armor. And of course, the producers are going to fulfill that, right?
Well, I think that the producers from night one, when she says, like, I met my husband, I think that they were already thinking of a contingency plan on the season, because they had Tayshia come in and quarantine enough for it to be perfect timing for her to be swooping in and taking over the show. So I think that they recognized a lot earlier. Like, I think that they knew that this was going to be a short season with her, first night lust for Dale and the first impression rose. And I think that they just didn't want to see Clare finish out her season, to be honest. I mean, I don't either. I'm good with the content so far. I'm ready for something.
I'm over her.
Shade Dog says, does she not see what she's doing to the other men, or does she not care? Exactly. With emotional maturity, I would think that she would have empathy for the men in the situation. Be like, Dale, like, I'm so happy when you come and, show me this attention, but I also want to be respectful to the other men who's put their lives aside to hang out here and get to know me. And so as much as I want you to be here, like, I also want to be considerate. But she just loves the tension.
But when else in your life can you date 30 men and they all know about each other and they're okay with it, and, experience that and actually find the right one? Like, never. That doesn't happen. So she's, like I said before, missing out on this great opportunity to actually find love and jumping to the conclusion of what she thinks is love.
I mentioned this before when I was talking about Love Island, but my mom always says that never like a guy more than they like you. Like, he needs to be putting in more effort for Clare, and she needs to be playing a lot more hard to get. Like, go date these other guys, have him miss you. Like, the luxury of being the Bachelorette is they're not going anywhere because they're all there for you. In real life, people be like, okay, like, she's into somebody else, she's not into me, like, I'm out of here. But these guys they have to stay here and date you regardless of how you treat them. So, like, why not?
And right? They're okay with you dating other men too. Like, they know that's happening. Like, don't make it so obvious.
I know. Dana says, I hope at least some of these guys go on Paradise. Yeah, I'm liking the cast of guys. I find them all really fun, interesting, very compassionate. Like, I would be pissed if I was them in this situation. Like, I mean, it might blow next week if they're all gonna walk out, but I really feel as though I would have been pissed if, like, the guy that I come here to date is, like, not giving me any attention at all and, like, is only into one guy. I'd be like, why the fuck am I here? Like, I'd be so irritated.
Yeah.
Brazil says, so it was quite the conspiracy theorist a couple of weeks ago. I'm wondering if the producers knew the whole time that this was going to be the theme of the season. So yes. That's what I was just saying too, Brazil, is that, like, I think that maybe they had this as their intention beforehand. I don't know if it's because they knew that she was pre-gaming with Dale, but they read all the rumors as well. So I'm sure that they know what reality Steve is saying and whatnot. And so maybe they knew that there was potential that she was speaking with Dale before the season started. And maybe they're just like, well, we know that she's all in on him. Let's make this the most dramatic season of The Bachelorette ever, which it actually has been so far. I think it is the most dramatic.
There always has to be a twist. And I mean, this is a good twist, but it's, there always has to be some sort of twist. It's just weird that during Corona that you know, they have somebody set up already. I'm assuming it's going to be the same bunch of guys, which is kind of, I hope they add people or do something. Maybe some people stay, maybe some people go. I don't know. Like it's hard because they do have to quarantine for 14 days there. So I don't know what they're planning.
I mean, I am interested. They've got me hooked this season, so I'm in. Like, I'm interested. Deja says that Dale is literally is a horrible liar, and why did he keep on lying like that when everybody was going to be looking for the bathroom and was confused and stumbled around her room? Oh my God, yeah, he was just like a mess. Let's
just own it,
right?
Like, own it. Like, I went to look for her. You should get up and do the same. And maybe the guys need to step up more. Like, maybe they needed to kind of outshine Dale. Like, obviously he's your top competition. So maybe that's what they needed to do, is kind of step up in another way.
So after they go through the whole rose ceremony, the people that, well, the last person that gets the rose was Zach J. And I've been calling him Fart Box Guy. Like, you really are going to go on a date with Fart Box Guy, but apparently she's into him, like, to a certain extent. What do you think about the Fart Box Guy?
I don't think he necessarily deserved a rose. I feel like she was just kind of picking and choosing because she didn't get to know kind of the latter end of the guys, and the ones that she dismissed, she didn't get to know. Like, I feel like I didn't even know them. There was no screen time there. There was no, nothing really intriguing. Like, whether it's just how they were editing the show that they weren't, stepping up or whatnot. It was like, you notice how they did no exit interview for those guys? Like,
I know.
None of them got to sing off camera.
Who the second guy was. So one was Blake, the other Blake. Then Tyler S was the guy that I was like, who is that? And then
I didn't know who Tyler S was either. Like, I felt like I hadn't even seen him in the previous episode.
So I was like, who is that guy? He's so shiny.
He just like snuck in there, like nobody even knows.
So, those three are gone. But my question is, how do you think that they chose that next date? So Fart Box Guy ends up getting this one-on-one date. Like, how the F did that happen out of all the men on this show?
Or why wouldn't have she just came out with it and invited Dale on the one-on-one date so they could have their little makeout sesh and then done separate group dates? That maybe would have filled her cup. I don't know. Like, I mean, that's what she turned the group date into anyways, was like a Dale one-on-one, unless the producers made her, switch it up and chose for her.
My question is also, like, with that, so before the Fart Box date, there was a group date that was going to be happening, and she waited the whole afternoon and didn't go and talk to them. She had Deanna, which is a previous Bachelorette from 12 years ago, we learned, come and chat with her and talk about the fact that this love at first sight stuff, and she just is gushing over Dale. And I wish that Deanna didn't push her that way. I wish she was like, hey man, you're here, you should go and really explore all these other guys, and it's a really amazing opportunity just to meet new people and have new different energy. I wish she said that more so than just go head over all in on Dale. But she didn't. But why do you think he allowed those guys to sit there waiting for her for hours? Beyond rude.
I thought it was really rude. And then she cut their whole date short anyways. She didn't continue with anything. I felt like it was very rude. And it, again, just didn't give her or them the chance to get to know one another, which is what's supposed to be going down.
Exactly. And she came in like that, I know you guys may be upset, but I thought we just have a one-on-one. I'm in my head, I'm I want them to have these dates because you get to see them in out of their comfort zone and not just sitting around talking and, tell me more about yourself. Tell me more about your life. Yeah, that's very important in dating, but also seeing people in their element or out of their element is really indicative of how they're going to be in a relationship with you. So if it's bungee jumping or if it's on a Ferris wheel or if it's riding horses, whatever it is, you're going to see them do something like you would on a date, not just just sitting down having a job interview. And so I was irritated that we couldn't learn more about these guys in a different way other than these one-on-one date settings. Like it's just kind of boring. I don't know them well enough to care about what they say to you one-on-one right now. You know, I want to see the fun date.
It should be interesting what they do, like with the remaining of the season, just with, you know, being creative with dates, because they are so isolated and they can't really, you know, get out of that comfort zone. I guess they're going to have to create these dates or these, you know, situations or these games within kind of the compound there.
Yeah. I mean, they can do a lot though. They can like fly things in, bring things in, like they can create stuff. Like they can do a lot.
Show, which was good, you know, like I thought that was impressive. As she got really offended that they were so hard on Dale. And then literally only wanted to talk about how they were so hard on Dale.
It was so frustrating. Just like the whole thing. But so it was like the comedy date. When she was like they had the group setting and Dale makes the toast and he's like, you know, I feel like just with what was going on, I want to have like 5 minutes just to talk to Clare, you know, and so he swoops her away and they go and they have their very makeout session. Easy's annoyed by this. Obviously, all the other guys are as well, but he takes it upon himself to get up and go around and find them, go to her suite, knock on the door, and then they're giggling like teenagers that got caught by like the principal for making out behind the bleachers. Like it was so embarrassing.
And then she's like, come in here. Like she invited him in like it was okay for 5 minutes. Like it was so embarrassing.
And then she's like, oh, do you want to go back now and go hang out with the other guys? And like, so goes back out, hang out with the other guys. Okay, fine. She goes and has a couple other one-on-ones. And then Dale goes to the bathroom and stumbles back in there and like, oh, what? You're here? And like, oh, you want to stay? And interrupts Jay again. Poor Jay like gets interrupted by these guys all the time. Jay goes back, tells the guys are fuming that Dale second time interrupted after he was an hour with her beforehand, which is beyond rude. And then goes in again and she's just eating it up. She's just salivating over the fact that he is wanting to see her again. Like again. Get over yourself, Clare. Like, I mean, I feel like she's needy because she needs validation and she is very insecure and this is making her feel as though she is wanted and desired. But I don't think that warrants her not being compassionate and considerate of other people that are on this experience with you. I think it's just, I don't like how rude she is and not even recognizing how rude she has been. It's just so distasteful. So Brazil also says, and just wanted to keep people guessing about what would happen. And while they fully know that they were going to orchestrate this 2-in-1 Bachelorette deal, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They did have the 2 Bachelorette thing before with Britt and Caitlyn. So at the beginning of the season, so maybe they're like, well, we know we have to quarantine some people. Like maybe this Clare season won't work out, but let's give it a go and see what happens here. And maybe they always just had the idea of having Tayshia in the back burner. Brazil also, I feel like Reality Steve isn't, even though he wasn't always 100% right every time, made the seasons predictable. So the last few seasons have been like, wait, what? Producers got to keep people interested. That's true. With all these spoilers happening, like definitely trying to figure out ways to still make it entertaining and people being like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen.
I agree.
So, and Brazil is removing her tinfoil hat. No, I mean, I can see that being a possibility. The producers need to keep on stepping it up to keep it interesting. Absolutely. Mesa says, yeah, can we talk about Dale's childish lie? Yes, like that was not necessary. Own your action. Yeah. Why couldn't you just be like, hey, I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to see Clare again. I was going to the bathroom. I wanted to see if she happened to be free. I'm sorry. I wanted to see her again.
Yeah, they're all panning for the same woman. They're all going after her. So they got to figure out ways, I guess, to get around Dale. Like that would be know your competition, I guess. Like,
right. So he like making out with her against the wall, and she's just loving it. So Chasen's pissed, goes, knocks on the door, comes in and sees them still like kind of in an intimate like position. And so Dale leaves, Chasen stays, and this is when I think he was hiding his boner.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he went up against the wall again. I agree. There was something he was hiding. He didn't go back.
So awkward. So Deja, yes, I agree with you, Deja. I think she craves attention and likes anyone who shows her attention. Yep. I'm not sure if it's daddy issues because she likes to create something in her head and rushes like now and the Winter Games. Yes, exactly. She doesn't allow things to develop naturally. She goes from 0 to 100. And if people don't meet her at 100, she feels as though they're not interested in her. And it's just a very, very toxic dynamic. And there's no room for a relationship to actually grow. Like,
and maybe that's why it hasn't worked before, Claire. Like, that's why you haven't found love, is because you have zero chill when it comes to love.
Brazil Today Job says that what makes me think Claire was never interested in being the lead role and is so flippant about calling Dale her fiance. I know. I feel like it was pre-planned. Maybe it was pre-planned that she would just have a short season. Maybe. I never thought about
like it was. It would have had to have been because of quarantining everybody. I think it's definitely pre-planned. It definitely is.
Well, I mean, you could get around that though, because they did have other bachelorettes come and do little stints. So like, just like how Gianna's here, it would be very easy for Tayshia to be there as well, like for this little stint. But if I were Tayshia though, I would maybe want to have, all the promo about the season be about me too. If I was going to be the Bachelorette, like I would want to have a full season. So I don't know how it happened this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or how they're going to bridge it over either, like what they're going to do to make, like
White Claire's publicity,
right?
Like slap up Tayshia's.
Well, and all these guys that are like, I'm here for Claire, I'm here just for Claire. Just kidding, I'm also here for you. Like,
Tayshia's hot, looks good in a bikini, and has big boobs. So I mean, I'm sure that they'll be interested in Tayshia. You know what I mean?
Checks quite a few of the boxes.
She's gonna be fun. Like Claire, that's another thing that it's bothering me too about Claire, is that she's just not coming across as fun. Like it just seems like work just to like get it right with Claire. Like you can't do anything wrong, or Claire will just send you home. Like she wasn't able to have a good conversation with Brandon last week, and like he was just like, oh, I just want to get to know you. Like I saw you, I thought you're really pretty. Like I thought it would be interesting to come and meet you on this show. And she's like, well, what exactly about me did you like? And like, what exactly did you find about me that you wanted me to? And I was like, relax, girl. Maybe he didn't watch your season. Like maybe he wasn't born yet. Like relax. I'm just kidding. He is in his 20s though, but like, come on.
I know he didn't have an answer, and she just ripped him a new one for not having an answer about that. And it was disappointing that she is so, high maintenance. She's high maintenance. Yeah.
Bill says hi to Deja and Meso. She misses you guys. We missed the whole gang. J-Zob says to Brazil, certainly makes sense. She did disappear from the Bachelor Nation for a while. That is true. Mesa says, miss you too, Brazil. So cute. You guys are so cute. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm so ready to see my girl Tayshia find love. She was my fave on Colton season. Like Colton season was definitely a mess.
Oh yeah.
Do you know all the gossip that's going on about Colton right now?
No.
Oh, so Colton apparently has a restraining order been placed on him from Cassie because he's been kind of stalking her, putting tracking devices on her car, sending text messages from somebody else, claiming to be somebody else, and then being like, oh my God, I have a stalker too. Like just doing things that are just not maybe sound of the mind with Cassie. And so she's actually put a restraining order against him.
I did see something like that on Extra or some show. Yeah.
He, from Hannah Brown's season, he's been fined, I think, $120,000 from the Bachelor Nation because I think he exposed some things that he wasn't supposed to say on like a talk show or something like that. And so they're suing him. I mean, don't like you anyways, but that sucks. Mason said, the thing is, she is already lazy and focused on Dale. Absolutely. Notice how for the supposed one-on-one date, she took Dale straight to her suite. Wait, which one-on-one date?
It wasn't a one-on-one date, but it turned into the Dale and Clare show. Like, yeah, and that's exactly, she went straight there. Like, it was, she obviously had in her mind what was going to happen.
But like the date, it's just so weird. Like, it just makes me uncomfortable watching this.
It's classless. Like, you're supposed to be there enjoying the company of these men, and you take off a little schoolboy. Like, it's classless.
Mason said that gets up laughing. Last night's episode was a shit show. Only highlight was seeing Tayshia come out of the water, Love Island style. Yes, it was a nice surprise at the end. So it's like, finally, these rumors, we're going to be able to get to what is the truth about these situations next week, hopefully. Brazil says, laugh my ass off, Mesa. Last night's episode had me dying. I had to watch it 2 times in a row because the tea was flowing all over that resort. I know, it was spilling. I had to make a big cup of it today because there was so much tea being spilled. Sharad is in the house. Hi, Sharad. Yes, thank you so much. I am at 402, I think. Maybe 403. Exciting. Yay, getting there. Mesa says, I know that Bennett's roast was a highlight. Zing. Yes, it was. Okay, so where were we in the episode? How are you doing for time?
I got about 10 minutes, and then I have to go.
I mean, I'll still probably talk if we don't get to the end, but no problem. So where are we? Which date were we on? It's all about Dale, so I get confused.
Yeah. We're now making it all about Dale. It's the Dale show. No, I think we were talking about the one-on-one that she had, she was basically dismissed. Yeah, she basically dismissed him immediately. She didn't want to be on that date with him. So therefore, I feel like her head wasn't in the game and she wasn't even able to enjoy herself. Even the recap of the date was really short. Like, they went for a pedicure. Everything seemed to be flowing fine. And then that awkward kiss in the pool.
Well, and it wasn't even that bad. I saw a clip of it. I meant to pull it up for right now, but I forgot. But, you know, she went in for the kiss, which is cool. Like, and he just was like, I think he was startled. Like, he was shocked by the fact that she was going in for this kiss. And he just paused for a second. She's like, no. And like, she just freaks out for the fact that, like, I guess he wasn't like
aggressive. Like,
I don't know. And then he got really uncomfortable to watch when he was like trying to be, I think, sexy and romantic and like, no, come here, let me grab you and like, let's have a passionate makeout sesh. But she was already turned off and kind of walking away. He's like, no, I do want to kiss you. Like, I don't know what happened there. And like, he's still trying to like pull her in. But you know,
that made it awkward, that part. Like,
she had said no at this point. Like, she was not interested in having him kiss her anymore, and especially not having him grab her and pull her in. Did you think though, so the date before though, did you think that she was actually going to give Dale the friggin' group date rose?
No. Like,
why did you do that?
It just, I think in everyone's mind cleared up exactly what they were thinking, that, you know, she's just into Dale. And that was like so disheartening. Like, she has complete tunnel vision, and then she gives him the group date rose, and it was, I don't know, just too predictable, too obvious.
So annoying.
It was embarrassing.
Anyways, she's just a very bad bachelorette. It's like, she's not good at it at all. You know, you have to be good at the juggle. You have to make people feel like they're having a relationship with you. You have to be experiencing relationships with other people. The tunnel vision, it doesn't work for the bachelorette because you have so many people that want your attention. And so it's been entertaining, but I'm really happy to be moving on from Clare. So back to the fart box date. You know, they're supposed to be going to get ready now for the evening dinner date. And I mean, obviously it's because of the show, but like, you think that she would have said something before he gets ready for the date, goes and sits down. And then you hear the clickety click of the shoes, and it sounds almost like women's shoes. And then it's like Chris Harrison.
I know. It is for the show, but it is really disheartening that she just wouldn't give him the chance to maybe have a discussion about that and maybe what she wants in a man, because as he aggressively kind of tried to grab her and kiss her after the fact, it was like, no, she doesn't want that anymore. She only wanted that 5 minutes ago. Like, the girl can't make up her mind as to really what she wants. And she should have it made up. She should have kind of her list, her list jotted down as to what she wants in a man. And don't think that Dale is checking all those boxes. Like, that's a little bit ridiculous.
Sharad says, as a guy, I know Dale already got it in his mind and he won the show. LOL. You got confidence when you know the girl you want wants you like crazy. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, no, chill. Like, man, play a little hard to get. Make him work for it. Like, I don't know. I would, like, she wants guys to go and swoop in. So, like, I guess that's the working for it. But, like, make it a little bit of a challenge for him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just tacky.
For us, like, to know what's going to happen, make it not so predictable. Like,
so tacky. Brad says, if she would have played hard to get, it keeps us men on our toes. I didn't even read what you said, and I said the exact same thing. Like, what? Like, relax, Claire. Mesa says, I don't appreciate how she couldn't tell the guy what her issue was, just sending Chris over to send the poor guy home. That's a no. Exactly. Like, if in that moment, like, with the second time he went to grab and kiss her or whatever, just be like, listen, like, I said no, the moment didn't happen. Like, I don't appreciate you aggressively trying to kiss me in this moment. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I just don't want to have I don't want to move forward with this date with you right now. I didn't like how I felt. Like, he'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, like how he's coming across now, it's kind of like an abusive man, and that she's like having PTSD from past abusive relationships. And
I know that she couldn't even come and have a conversation with him about it. Like, obviously he's not going to do anything aggressive. Like, you're on a show. You're also, it was just classless again. Like, it just, I don't know. I felt so bad for them.
That was
so bad for all those guys.
Worthy things I've ever seen, ever. Yes, it was so cringe. I felt really bad for him. Like, I'm not really into him. I didn't think that they vibed at all. On the pedicure date, he was quite awkward. It's just like, what, you can't have fun with this pedicure date? Like, it's not that, like, I don't know. His personality just kind of sucks, I think. And he's just kind of, I don't know, lame. And she pretends like she's fun, but she's actually not fun. Like, not fun at all. Like, I was thinking about, like, when Rachel and I, we worked together for an airline. And so we've had many layovers together, and we've had layovers together when she was pregnant, and she was still more fun than Claire has been this entire season.
If you can't have fun, what's the point? Honestly, like, it's so true. She's boring. She's a basic bitch.
Totally. I was a guy, I'd be like, oh my God, I just want someone that's just fun. Like more, she's more to offer. Like, she's not funny. I've never heard her tell like a joke, except for at the end of this episode. And they were like, her roast was okay. But she's just not an interesting person to me. And it could be
Brazil was written for her.
Brazil can kill me, but it's probably because she's a Pisces.
Yeah. Well,
water signs are kind of kind of watery and emotional, and not the most fun in that regard. So after that date, so he goes home, he gets sent home, and the guys were kind of speculating about what that date was going to be like and all about, and like if they were going to connect or whatnot. And while they're having this conversation, well timed out, we see a producer go in there and grab his, I think it's an empty bag, because she just lifted it up like it was enough. So,
probably.
And they just have it there for show. But he wasn't coming back. And like, I was surprised that he got the one-on-one date to begin with. So even though it was already cringe, I didn't think that he was going to, even if they had kissed, I don't think that he was going to move forward. I didn't see a good connection between the two of them.
No, I have to run. I'm sorry. My daughter has dance, but
no problem. Hopefully we can see you again next week, and maybe we'll start a little bit earlier if that will work better for you.
Sure. And next week, obviously the U.S. election. So anybody from the US, you should vote. That's really important. I'd like to get that out. And next week it's on Thursday. So the 5th.
Thursday. Okay, that's good to remember that it's on. So the actual episode is on Thursday?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't really notice that. Okay, thanks for telling me. I mean, I would have figured it out. But yeah, so if you want to hang out with us on Friday, we would be more than welcome to have you. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Bye.
So that date ends, and I thought it was definitely Brazil. Like, it was so cringe. I was just so mortified for him, for Claire, for Chris Harrison to have this conversation. Like, I just did not want to see any more of that at all. So the guys they knew that he wasn't really coming back. They didn't really get another date card, but the next day comes, and I think it was Kenny was talking about, the fact that they're going to be doing something, they have a group date, and they're all really happy that Dale was not going to be on this date. And so little did they know he was going to be really on this date. It was going to be all about him. J-Job says, both things can be true about Zach's grab. No harm intended. True. And Claire was triggered and uncomfortable. True. That is really true, J-Jobs. I don't think that he was intending on being aggressive or forceful. I think that he was thinking that if the moment was still there, that it would be reciprocated, and that she was triggered and uncomfortable because it wasn't reciprocated in that moment. And so it just, I think, was bad timing with intention that was triggering. So I totally agree with you. Claire still had the right to be uncomfortable. Absolutely, she had the right to be uncomfortable. I just feel as though she kind of puts herself in such situations where she has to have these emotional responses. And so if she had just had said to him, no, the moment's gone, like, I don't want to kiss you anymore, like, it was there, but it was gone. But she kind of just, like, skirted around the issue. And so he was just trying to go back in and get back into, that moment. But she was already long gone. She might not even have been there in the beginning. And so if she just was clear with her intention that she wasn't interested anymore, I don't think that he would have tried to go in for that second kiss that was going to make her extremely uncomfortable. So I just think that how she expressed herself wasn't clear before it got to the uncomfortable stage. Basil says, yeah, Jobs, I think that both our things are true, and it was an opportunity for her to explain where she was coming from mentally if she was really trying hard to get to know these guys. Yes, and she's asking for these men to be open and honest and share their feelings and all this stuff, and she's not doing this, giving back the same. Like, this guy doesn't really even know that he made her feel uncomfortable, and it's just kind of, it should be a two-way street if you were trying to get to know somebody, in my opinion. And so if he made her feel uncomfortable in that moment, I really wish that she had stood in her truth and explained that to him, because I don't think that he had ill intent in that moment. Like, he was just trying to go back to, like, I was there, I was in it. And she had already moved on. Maisel says, it just seems like she's looking for any reason to dismiss the guys except Dale. Yes, I do think she was uncomfortable, but I also think that if she was interested in him, she would have given him a little bit more respect in that moment and kind of explained the situation a little bit better instead of just, like, leaving him high and dry. G-Job says, yeah, all those things can be true to Meso. Exactly. Rachel is correct. Yes. I just, with this whole season of Claire, like, I really wish that she was a little bit more strong emotionally. I feel as though she's still kind of playing the victim a little bit in this situation, and she kind of feigns empowerment, but really I don't feel that she actually is empowered. I feel like she needs all this outside validation because she doesn't necessarily feel in herself that she's deserving. And so, with Dale, she's decided that he's the one. And so now everything that he's doing is going to be proving that he is the one. And so everybody else is not going to be the one. But it's just kind of all an ego boost. It's very bizarre, actually, but it's fascinating. Not gonna lie. Hi, Annie. How are you? So Annie felt bad for him. I did too. I don't think that he was trying to trigger her or make her feel uncomfortable. I think that she should have come out for him to explain it to him instead of Chris. Exactly. She wants these men to be so open and honest. Like, why isn't she being open and honest with him here as well? If she's supposed to be getting to know these people for a potential husband situation. Meso says, I agree with you, Lovey. Yes, it's so true, though. So true. So they get to the next date, and it's another group date. They're happy that Dale isn't on it, and they meet up with Margaret Cho, and they're going to be doing and learning from her how to do a roast. And, this happens on a lot of seasons of The Bachelorette. There's different roast elements or different things like this where they kind of have to go up and speak about the other men in the house. And so a lot of the content that they showed anyways seemed to be about Dale. And let me remind you that there's obviously no audience because it's quarantine. And so the audience was going to be all the other bachelors that were not on this date. So Dale was going to be in the audience of this date. So Dale's sitting there. All the men start roasting Dale. And Clare is getting uncomfortable and upset by this. And I was kind of annoyed that I'm just like, she had this whole disclaimer in the beginning being like, hey, it's just a roast. Like, I like having fun. I like laughing. And so don't want to take anything too seriously. Let's just really have a good time with this. And like, and gave off that it was going to be a really playful energy. But it wasn't in the end. Like, yes, they were all coming for Dale, but it's kind of funny. Like, you're giving them the material by pulling him away, and he's doing this and he's doing that. And like, if this is what the focus of the show has been so far, you got to expect this is what they are going to speak about on this roast. So Mesa says to think that the date card said, don't take it personally. And Clare took it very personal. Yes. And that's exactly what I'm saying here. It was all in good fun. And so, but they're coming for her man and she needs to like stand up for Dale. What? Like, he's a grown man. He is totally fine. He doesn't need to have you protect him. And so everybody goes through all their roasting. Dale pretty much took it like a champ, in my opinion. Like, he wasn't seemingly super offended by them roasting him. But she's even saying to Margaret, like, I can't believe that they're coming for Dale like that. I can't believe it. And Margaret's like, maybe they're just jealous. Maybe it's jealousy. And so she's just upset about this. The guys talk to Dale after, and he's like, yeah, I own it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know I've been taking a lot of the time of Clare, and so I understand why you guys are coming for me. And so I was happy that he at least didn't get upset by it, because I would have been irritated if he did. Mesa says Bennett really went in on Dale. Yeah, but like at this point, like, I'm team Bennett. Like, I'm team anybody but Dale right now. I don't find him to be that great of a guy. He's okay, but I'm liking him less and less the more that I'm getting to know him and his relationship with Clare. And he says, I think her mom being sick and COVID going on, and maybe and showing focus on her age too much made showing her emotional is making everything more emotional instead of being strong and a mature woman. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is actually Clare, though. Like, now if I look at like how Clare's been in other shows, she does get like this. She gets indignant. She gets like, this is how it's supposed to be treated, and gets kind of this attitude about people, which is fine to know what you deserve, but I feel as though she doesn't give the opportunity for people to show her what they're going to give her. She just kind of jumps the gun about and makes assumptions about what certain actions mean. Like the fact that, when she jumped down their throats about the fact that they didn't immediately snap up and go and take her away on a one-on-one. Well, like, they were nervous. They're awkward. It's their first time on The Bachelorette. They're not used to this whole thing. Like, like you're leading the show. So you could just be like, hey, does anybody want to talk? Like, they might be waiting to see what's happening next. Or if you're going to have an activity, like, they don't know what's going on. And so the fact that she jumps to conclusions about things that support the narrative of things about her that she's insecure, That's what I'm kind of having a problem with. But I do understand that she's probably in a more of an emotional state because of what's been going on in the world. But I think that it's part of her personality and how she deals and reacts to things, that she doesn't look at things from other angles and other lenses. She just automatically gets offended. Meso says, she said they are coming for my fiance. I died laughing. Yes, this was happening. When did they come for? Yeah, after the roasting? Yeah, I think it was after the roasting, before the evening date. I can't remember. But she's talking to one of the producers and being like, why are they coming for my fiance like that? It's like, and I'm like, he's not your fiance. He's a guy that you met 2 weeks ago. Like, you're on a dating show with 25 other men and you're giving them zero attention, and you go to a roasting and they're all talking about it. Like, yeah, they're all going to be talking about it. Like, relax. Now, on the after the date portion of the roasting, Claire is talking to all the men, and the men are like, I'm just excited that I just get to have some one-on-one time with Claire. And Bennett was up first. Bennett sits down with Claire. And she's just like, yeah, you really went in on Dale, right? You just really just like, what was that about? What was going on there? Like, and I'm like, Claire, like, figure it out, because it's very easy to see what's going on here is that you're not giving anybody else any other attention other than Dale, and they're getting irritated by it, and they were showing their frustrations in this roasting. Like, you don't need to bring any more attention to it. And then she has the gall to complain about the guys only wanting to talk about Dale on their one-on-ones with her when she's the one that's bringing up the roasting. I was furious at that moment with her, because I was just like, why are you talking about it and then giving them heck for the fact that they were answering your questions about the roasting? Oh my God, Deja's so funny. Deja says that group hug was awkward and fake to be. Yes, that was in the other group date that Dale was actually on. But like, let's all have a group date and they're all just like side by side, like hugging, and Dale gives a toast and then says I'll only be 5 minutes and takes an hour. Like, it's just all kinds of not a guy that I'm into at all. So Mesa says he picked Bennett first to quiz him. He wanted to find out why they went in so far. Oh, she did. Yes. I mean, yeah, sure. But like, it should be pretty self-explanatory why they went in on Dale so hard. Like, and it's also a roasting. So it's it's the lowest hanging fruit here. She can just go in on Dale because, or they can go in on Dale because there's so much stuff that he's doing and it's irritating. He's irritating them. He's irritating me. Like, I would be going, that would be the best. I mean, they go in on Bennett as well. So we saw that they made fun of Bennett and him being rich and all that stuff. Chantele, he's not your fiance. He's a guy you met 2 weeks ago at my asshole. But like, Jay Johns, it's true. She's something. She's definitely setting herself up to be disappointed in the situation because she's not allowing herself to really get to know Dale. She's not actually trusting the process, because the process does say that she, even if she likes somebody, she's still supposed to be getting to know other men. Even if, like, in real life outside of the Bachelor or Bachelorette, it's always told to you by dating coaches, like anybody that's helping people with relationships, to not only go tunnel vision on one guy, because then you come across as needy to that guy and it's less attractive. In general, you do want to keep your options open and keep yourself open to getting to know and understanding other people, because they're going to be bringing out other things in you and you're going to learn more things about yourself. And then you're not going to be so focused on this one guy, because that focus, in my opinion, is going to eventually push Dale away. If I was watching all this back and I was Dale and I wasn't at the same level as Claire was, I'd be like, ugh, get me out of here. Like, I'd be like running away, run across that football field. Like, Deja says, literally, I'm watching. I'm just like, he's just not that into you 2.0. I know. I don't think he is. I think he's going to watch it back and be like, okay, I want to win the show. But then I think it's going to be cut short. And so he doesn't need to win the show anymore. And I don't think that they're going to work outside of this she lives in California. He lives somewhere on the other side of the states. Like, I don't think it's going to work at all. Meso says, exactly, that's what I was thinking too. You stirred the conversation towards Dale and then get pissed when they roasted him. Right? Right? It's all about Dale and you and him stealing your time and him doing this and him. He's becoming kind of the villain that you are into right now because you are saying that that's what you want from him. And so he's not going to be liked. Rachel asked, who drafted Dale? You or Brazil? I did. Like, I knew that Dale was going to do well. So I let Brazil go first, but she still didn't draft Dale. So she was thinking that she was going to draft for Tayshia, but I was always thinking that we were going to do a second draft when Tayshia came into the picture because we didn't know what guys were going to be left or whatnot. And so I did draft Dale on my team. So I'm getting a lot of points, a lot of kissing points anyways. Mesa says, Nick Viall tweeted that he won't be surprised if Clare went away with the group date rose to go find Dale in his room and hand it to him. I mean, I don't particularly like Nick Viall, but that's pretty funny because she's just googly eyes over that guy and he's not that into him. Yes, I did draft Dale. This is true, Mesa. Thank you. So Andy says, I don't think it's Dale's fault. I think that he's trying to make them comfortable, even interrupted them. He handled that so well. Clare was making it awkward. He wanted to spend time with her. I don't blame him. Yeah, but I think, in my opinion, how he's even like, I went to the bathroom and and you know, he's just so awkward. Just say, hey, I like Clare. She likes it when I interrupt and go in and want to spend more time with her. Sorry, guys. I know it seems like really rude, but like, this is what I'm here for her. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to have her be my partner or to be the last person standing or whatever. So I just don't like how he speaks after he makes these weird confrontations. Oh yeah, sorry. So what else happens here? So basically she just like talks on and on and on to every single guy. And the guys start talking afterwards about the fact that, oh, like, was your date like that? Like, did you get to know Clare more? Did you find, out more about your relationship? Did you get deeper? And they're all like, no. It was all about Dale, all about like why we were roasting Dale, all about Dale, all about Dale, all about Dale. And she's like, I just want to know like what goes on in the house. Like, and just like, tell me, like, so like, what's happening? Like, why is everything all about Dale? Like, what is it? And it's just like zero chill. Read between the lines. Dale is not liked because of how he's treating the other guys and how you are letting him treat the other guys and how you are treating the other guys. So they're not going to roast you. So they're going to roast Dale because it's irritating. I'd roast Dale. I'm roasting Dale now. Like, get it, Clare. Get over it. So yeah, she gives no damn group date rose. And I think that's another slap in the face that she decided to manipulate all those little mini one-on-ones with not getting to know these men better and then blames them for not learning more about these men. It's like, well, even Bennett was like, yeah, well, like, I just want to like talk more about us. Well, like, just tell me more about like why you wanted to roast Dale. And she just wouldn't let it go. And so the fact that she didn't get to know the men better, but then penalized them with nobody getting the rose because she didn't get to know anybody better. I was just like, Clare, you're just messy. Misa says, can't wait for Tayshia. I hope her type is in the pool of men available and that the men would be willing to actually participate. I think that they would be so like excited and welcome to have Tayshia in the mix. I feel like Tayshia's fun. I feel like she's a positive person. She already knows kind of how the process goes. So she's not needy. Like, I feel like she will be empowered and she will say what she wants. But I think she'll just be a good time and she won't get tunnel vision on one particular guy because she's been cyber stalking him for 6 months. And so I think that it's just going to be more light and less like mopey Clare, like crying over Dale. Like, I'm not interested in seeing their relationship anymore. I cringe when I see them make out. I thought in the very beginning that I was like, oh, I saw passion there, but now I just see kind of stalker vibes from Clare. I think she's a bit of a bunny boiler, not gonna lie. So yeah, calls Dale her fiance to the producers. So cringe. Like, Dale, run Dale, because this isn't gonna end well for you, I don't think. I think you're gonna get into a relationship with her and she's just gonna be like, expect you to do all these things because like you're in a relationship or you're her fiance or whatever, and you are not going to be there. Maybe so Chantel's Clare voice. It's just so funny. Thank you. I'm going to work on it though. I'm going to get it really, well, I mean, I guess we only have one more week to do it, but I'm going to work on it and get it really good for you guys. So we get the previews for the next week's episode, and it's basically all the guys saying that Clare, they're going to walk out. They're going to walk out. They're going to walk out. And that's really interesting. And I think that that's what happens with the blowing up the Bachelorette. I think that the guys are going to threaten a walkout. I don't know if they actually are going to walk out, but maybe they all will go together to Chris Harrison and say, like, look, like, we don't think that she's here for us. She keeps on canceling dates. She keeps on only spending time with Dale. Like, why are we here if we're not able to get to know this woman? And there's no chance for us to even be having a relationship with her. So we're out of here. I think that they did that. I think they probably called a group meeting or a house meeting, as our Big Brother fans would probably like to see it. And Chris was like, wow. Chris probably goes and tells Clare, like, hey, the guys are planning a walkout. That's why she cries. Claire's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed because like none of these guys want to stay here for her. It's like, well, you didn't really make it that fun for them to want to be there with you because you didn't care for them. And so she probably leaves. Dale probably follows her. And then Tayshia comes out of the pool. So hopefully Tayshia comes out of the pool and is like, hey guys, like I know Clare might not be here anymore, but I would love to get to know you guys and maybe see if we have something special. And that would just, that's enough for me. Like, and they'll probably be like, let's date. It'll be normal. It won't be one person with tunnel vision over some guy that, as Meso says, yes, if infatuation is over 100. Exactly. It's just like, chill, Clare. I feel like it's like a high school crush that she has on this guy. It's like, it's just weird. Meso says, I feel like Clare turns in the gloves first before the guys, though. Okay. I mean, that's just how they probably edited it. I feel, because, like, why would, like, you blow up the Bachelorette? And why is she crying? I really think that she's embarrassed that the guys want to leave. Like, that makes sense to me, that they just, like, I don't want to be here anymore for this person. Like, I'm out. Like, she's picking Dale. Like, the season's done. And even Clare said it at one point too. I don't know, was it a confessional or voiceover, but she's like, yeah, this might be the shortest season of The Bachelorette ever. It's like, maybe she knew that she was only going to be there for 3 or 4 episodes or 4 or 5 episodes. Meso said she leaves saying that she found love and the guys were like, so I wasted my time. Maybe, okay, let's just map this out. Maybe the timeline is the guys, J-Job says, is Claire's mature or immature, or just immature regarding dating? I think that she is immature regarding dating. I think that how she's trying to go about being the Bachelorette shows to me that she's not emotionally mature in how she approaches dating, and that's probably why she hasn't been successful at it. So I was going to break down, what was it? Okay, so yeah, I think that the guys probably called over Chris Harrison and was like, hey, we want to leave. And then I think Chris Harrison goes to Clare and said, like, the guys called me over and said that they want to leave. You just broke, we've never had this before. You just broke the Bachelorette or blew the Bachelorette. And she was probably like, well, I can understand that because I found who I want to be with, and I understand that. So she probably left. Dale followed. Chris comes back after talking to Clare on behalf of the guys, and that's when they might have said, well, like, what do we do now? Do we get another Bachelorette? I think that's a plausible timeline here. And he says, oh my God, that was the grossest thing. Oh my God, smelling the pants and making her friends smell them was so cringe. I know. How many times did you cringe during this episode, guys? Like, how many? I don't think the show is making any favors. They are not editing out for her. No, not at all. They're giving her a bad edit and not protecting her as the lead. Yeah, I don't think that I think that they're kind of making fun of her. I said this last week too. Like, they are just making fun of this part of the season. I don't think that they respect her as a Bachelorette. I don't think that they like her particularly as a Bachelorette, but they know that it's a dramatic beginning of a season. But yes, like, smell the t-shirt, but smelling the pants, I think, is a little bit cringe. A lot of it cringe. Oh my God, it smells like him. Oh my God. J Jobs. Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, I think that Clare, she's immature with dating. She might be mature in real life, but I think that a lot of her identity is around being in a relationship. And so I don't know if she's actually emotionally mature in the rest of her life as well, because it seems as though she's quite needy and she hasn't learned how to have some empowerment in how she goes about dating. And they say how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so if this is how she dates, I feel that she might have even more immaturity show up in her and the rest of her life and how she kind of handles things. So I changed my mind. I think that she might be immature in how she approaches many things in her life, or comes from an immature perspective. Meso says, yes, they aren't protecting the lead. The edit is definitely matching the narrative they wanted to create. Yep. Like, she's not looking good. J Jobs says, I did not realize those were pants. I thought it was a shirt. Gross. I know, J Jobs. It was pants. Pants. Meso says, oh my God, Eddie, I forgot that part. Major cringe. There was so many. I wrote cringe probably like 6 times last night. And it was just so uncomfortable. Clare, get a grip. Relax. Clare Crawley. I feel bad because they are making fun of her the show, but she knew what she was signing up for. She knew that how she is. She knew that she was going to be all in on Dale. I don't know. Like, I just wish that she was just a little bit more relaxed and just dated a little bit, even with knowing that she was going to choose Dale in the end. Like, JoJo, in my opinion, when she first met Jordan, I thought that there was an instant connection there with her, and that I think he got the first impression rose as well. But she still allowed herself to have interest in other people, and it allowed her to be able to see that Jordan was the one that she wanted to be with in the end, because she did do this other dating, and she did see that the grass, wasn't as green on the other side or whatever. So I wish Clare was better at dating, so that she would be better at being the lead in this particular show. Anything else going on? Any other gossip? Obviously, we know about jerking off. And has anybody heard any more about the Easy allegations? I was really disheartened to hear that someone has come forward to say that there may have been a sexual assault charge, or I don't know if it was a charge against him, but an accusation. And so I really hope that this isn't true, but I also wish, I don't know, I wish that it was being addressed. So if you guys have any other information as to whether or not that has been spoken about further, I like Easy, and so I'm hoping that it will be resolved in a way that everybody feels heard and taken care of. Meso says she gave them the material. Oh, exactly. Claire's just not a good Bachelorette. She's not emotionally stable, I don't think. She should have chilled a little. Chilled a lot, Meso. Chilled a lot. Chilled a lot. A lot. Never show them how much you're into them, especially on The Bachelorette. Like, make them work. Meso says, yeah, that's true. JoJo's season was the bomb of a lot of hot guys. Yes, she did have quite a few attractive men, and she dated them all. And, I'm sure that Jordan had an idea that he was going to be chosen, but he had to be a little bit worried and a little bit like work hard for her attention and like do things, but that I know that Clare wants him to do, but she's not interacting with the other men for it to feel, in my opinion, validated. It's just like just Dale and Clare hanging out and people interrupting them on their dates. J. Job says, surprisingly silent about Easy. He was even on Rachel's Happy Hour podcast. Was this before or after these allegations came out, J. Jobs? Because I would think that Rachel would have brought that up, or, you know, it would have been a discussion if it was after. Hi, Sam. How are you? Nice to meet you. So Sam says it is filmed before, and the Clare and the rest of the guys watch the season in real time. No, we know that it's watching in real time, but if Easy was on the Bachelor Happy Hour, I was just wondering if they discussed, or you're saying they filmed the happy hour with Rachel and what's her name? I forgot her name. Rachel and that old other Bachelorette. Was it Becca? I think she's another Becca. I can't remember for sure. On the Bachelor Happy Hour. Are you saying that that was what was filmed in before the show? J. Jobs, not exactly sure, but the podcast was released last season. Okay, I'm going to take a look at that because I want them to address it. Becca, yes, Becca Kufrin, thank you. Oh, interesting though, in Gossip World. So Becca and Garrett's his name, broke up, and I think it's because they didn't have their values weren't the same in the end. There was definitely a lot that was going on between them when the Black Lives Matter movement was heightened, so in June, and so he kind of wrote Blue Lives Matter and had like a blue line on his Instagram, and that caused a lot of stir. And there was other racist or people that were racist posts that he had liked and stuff like that. And so there was a lot of discussion around him back then. And so she was defending him a lot with Rachel. And it seems though now though they have actually broken up. And I'm thinking, has it been 2 years? If it's been 2 years, she gets to keep the ring. So that's probably partially why they probably stayed together longer. And then also, though, I think that she probably realized that their values weren't lining up. If he has to be taught so much about, you know, inclusivity and what is okay and what's not okay, like that could be problematic moving forward in a relationship. So they're done. Misa says, I don't think that Clare knows a lot about Dale. She knows whatever's on Instagram. The combo seems very surface level. Absolutely. Then again, editing can cause that though. They don't talk about anything. I don't find Dale particularly engaging, but she's just like, oh my God, Dale. Just like, oh my God. He just says the right things. Like, he's just amazing. Sam says, no, I was asking a question since it's my first time watching The Bachelorette in real time. Okay. So yeah, The Bachelorette, unlike Love Island, The Bachelorette is taped a couple months in advance. I'm not sure exactly the timeline of this one, just because it's a little bit different than quarantine times. But usually it will tape for say 2 months, 3 months, and then they'd edit it, and then maybe a couple months after it happened, it would go to air. So usually the Bachelor and Bachelorette are silent, like with their new partner, if that's how it goes, until after the whole season airs. They're not supposed to really go out and date. And even if you're on the show and you're released early and you go back to your life, you're apparently not allowed to date anyone openly, just because they don't want to spoil the show or ruin any of the datings and what's happening moving along. And so, basically from you are part of the show, you can't be seen dating anybody, including people from the show, until after the season has aired, or at least I guess your episode has aired if you left early. So yes, it is taped beforehand, and they watch it after in real time. So people are not in quarantine anymore right now, but they are in quarantine, and I think they already even started Matt James's season, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard that process has already started. So I'm sure that they're going to finish filming that until the end of the year, and then maybe in the new year, that's when they will air Matt James's season. Garrett, yeah, you guys are helping me out. I never really liked him, so it's probably why I don't remember that whole season. I love it. J Jobs, yes, Garrett is definitely yes, a MAGA hat wearer for sure, and Becca is not. Yes. And he says, I think learning self-love, I need to find herself and have self-confidence. She sounds like validation from the guys, and to tell her how good and how beautiful she is, she should already know that she is that. Exactly. Like, she is the Bachelorette. It's not because she's the oldest Bachelorette. It's because they saw some qualities in her that they wanted to have this woman have the opportunity to find love. And so I would have loved it if she was coming from a more confident position. Like, I wanted to see a confident Bachelorette that knows what they want, but I think that that's a cover for her to be being very, very, very insecure. It's very uncomfortable. Besa says he wasn't even willing to learn. Yeah, I mean, he just seemed to me, Garrett, that like a kind of like a guy that was just set in his own ways and didn't really have any room to budge there. And that would be a very big turnoff for anybody, especially with her having a podcast with Rachel, who's a Black woman, who's very, very vocal with, you know, her position as being the first Black Bachelorette, and, you know, race relations. She's very vocal in how she expresses that. And so I don't think that Becca would be able to go to work every day with Rachel and always be defending her partner when she didn't have the same values as him. And so that's got to go. Mesa says, love you, the clairvoyant. I'm really going to keep working on it, though, guys, because it's so funny. There was one more other Bachelor news that happened. So JP and Ashley also called it quits. And I can kind of see that coming when they're doing the greatest of all time Bachelor recap seasons or episodes before Clare's season. So in, I guess, early March and April. They had a little clip when they about them, and I can't remember if it was on that particular show or if it was something else that I was watching with them, but they were talking about how JP got a really a serious illness where I think he lost all motor skills and he wasn't able, he was very close to passing away, and it was a very traumatic time for them. And when I was seeing them interact in the greatest of all time episode, and even that, it just seems as though they started to be disconnected and they didn't seem to want to be there with each other and talking about their relationship and stuff like that. And so I was just wondering if it was because they had to face so much together that they were just exhausted and tired. Like, it's really hard on a family and a relationship to be going through something really serious, you know, health wise. And so that might have drew them apart, or maybe made them realize that they wanted to spend the rest of their lives with somebody else or not with that particular person anymore. So I kind of saw it coming, but I did want to see them stay together and do well. But another Bachelor breakup, which is sad. Very sad. Yes, it was very sad. Any other Bachelor gossip? Anything else, guys? It was nice to be back. I've missed you guys. I know that I haven't been on for the last couple of days. I've just been having a lot of things that have been going on in my life that I've had to take care of. But I wanted to kind of put that aside and talk about the Bachelorette, something happy and something fun. So I'm really grateful to have you guys here to give me the platform to talk about something that it is serious, in the sense that, you know, we're seriously talking about this woman's, you know, how she appears in the world and just, you know, the social dynamics of this particular season. So yes, it's serious in that regard, but it's also light in the fact that we're debating over people in jocks jobs. You know what I mean? So thank you for being here to discuss this season with me. I'm definitely really, really enjoying it. Probably the most out of all the Bachelorette seasons in the last few years. Since like maybe Caitlyn's season, I haven't really had as much fun watching it. I know that I don't really enjoy Clare or enjoy Dale, but there's a lot of drama that's interesting. So I'm happy to share that and chat with you. If you guys watch Bachelor, Just Bachelor on the brain. If you watch Big Brother, I'm going to be talking tonight on Rob Has a Podcast. After the episode, the finale, we will be going live at around 11:15 Eastern time to discuss basically the whole season of Big Brother. So yeah, we'll be going live at 11:15. You can probably find it on YouTube or Rob Has a Podcast channel. Yeah, we'll be chatting there. And then tomorrow we will be doing with Phil. I'll be doing The Amazing Race. And I might go live at around 2 p.m. with Mari just to talk about, just kind of like what we did today with just talk about the episode and the season on a whole. So Mari is somebody else that's from the class of 2020 from Rob Has a Podcast. And so she loves The Bachelorette, has wanted to talk about it. And so we might just do a talk about that episode, and maybe I'll also bring in the what happened next with Love Island UK that I was supposed to do on Sunday. So that should be coming up. Also, with Michelle, we'll be doing with the next little while, episode 4, 5, and 6 of whatchamacallit, Road Rules Season 1. We weren't able to do it yesterday because of life, but we should be getting back on track with that with the next few days too. So just keep in touch. Make sure you subscribe, because if you subscribe and you ring that bell, you will know when we go live, if things change in our schedule. I'm sorry if you expect us to be there at 2 or something and we can't be there. Just know that we're always wanting to be here on time, but life does happen, and so sometimes you need to readapt and shift. And there's no way to message you guys all, so I'm gonna have to figure a way to put a post up somewhere where you guys can know if scheduling changes or whatnot. So we love having you. J Jobs says too, thank you. No, thank you, J Jobs, for being here with all the questions, all the tea, all the conversation. You guys are honestly, I think, the best chat group in reality TV podcasting. You guys are honestly so fun. I look forward to chatting with you guys every day. If you haven't done so, subscribe, like this video. It helps with the algorithm. See if we can get to 500 subscribers sooner than we could think. Sooner than Claire says Dale's name again. Dale. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at some point or later on tonight on Rob Has a Podcast. Take care, guys.